Yo, what's going on, guys? Circumstance here, and today we got something special. We have our wonderful friend Bluey. Say hello, Bluey.
Hello.
And today we're going to be doing a tier list, not only of my thoughts on all this, but also Bluey, who is a proven veteran, better than me. Been proven on stream multiple times. And we've already technically done this once, so it should go so much faster. But we're going to be rating all the animals based on when they naturally show up on shop, not on level ups, and not when they show up later. Maybe we'll do another one some other time for maybe a deep dive of each animal. I don't know. But the plan is to go over my tier list, and then afterwards we'll go and do a video over on Bluey's channel of her tier list. So make sure you click the link in the description over to her channel so you don't miss that. And to start things off, I didn't put anything in S tier. Basically at all, there's just one animal and that's it. So when we get to that, we'll cover that. But I put ant, fish, and otter in A tier. I'm really on the fence of putting mosquito in A tier because it's very, very good. I made this whole list a couple weeks ago, or about a week ago at least, and my feelings since have started to sway a little bit here and there on some things. Mosquito's probably just A tier. It's probably a mistake, but it's too late now. I've already made the
I'd
list.
say it's A tier. The amount of times you'd keep a mosquito over anything else that you've put.
Yeah. But otter do be pog.
It's great when you buy it, but mosquito does stuff.
Yeah.
And fight.
Yeah. Fish is so close to S tier. It's like A plus. If it did something else other than pump everybody when it levels up and it had the same stats, if it did literally anything else, a die trigger, a buy trigger, a sell trigger, on a hurt trigger, I don't care. If it did anything, it'd be S tier. It's so valuable. The beaver and the pig are really good to get you through these first two rounds, so you get other animals going that actually matter. But you only really pick those up after you've rolled the shop and you don't have any other options. You got to take what you can get. These are the choices you're going to go with, as opposed to something like a horse or a duck. Cricket is like A plus or a B plus because it's like a built-in honey for the first couple rounds, and that's really strong. It could still be beat, but man, that should have win you some
honey
games.
on top of it, even better.
And then it's redundancy. I feel like it matters so much less when I give it honey, so I just stopped giving it honey. Like that extra one, there's just two things sitting there all the time. Horse is like, it's passable if you can make the build work. A couple crickets and maybe a spider or something coming up. But you gotta transition hard and quick, because it's gonna fall off. Duck, in my opinion, is garbo, but Bluey tells me that if you're on the pay to win pack, duck has a place.
Yeah, you do the whole buy-sell meta with the shop, and you can have a dromedary and then keep animals in the shop and then sell your duck and give it a final kick up before you know.
Yeah. There's lots of shenanigans in the pay to win pack. Which there's talk of another one not that long from now.
A third expansion coming next year.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
I know you just got this pack.
Yeah, I'm just now starting to learn this one. Sloth doesn't really exist, so we don't have to talk about it. It's the most useless thing. I don't get it. It does nothing. It can't really level up. Like, it can obviously level up, but it doesn't do anything when you level it. And it doesn't even add anything. It's what, like a 1/1 or something?
It's an Easter egg more than an actual unit.
Yeah. I've seen it in real life twice, but short of that, never. And
Al got it on the 31st of December.
Yeah. So now the egg's seen it. I guess we have to acknowledge that it's actually real, but it still feels like a
Well, no,
meme.
everyone's going to be playing sloth now. Somehow.
The second he buys one for real,
Yeah.
when he starts doing memes with it, oh, it's over. But that's my round 1 and 2. Next we have 3 and 4. Swann is definitely an A tier. You're never upset to buy a swan. You're probably going to buy a swan more often than you buy any of these other animals.
I'm only sad to see a swan if it's like round 6 and I've already got my team.
Yeah. It fits into so many things because you're like, if nothing else, you're a passable body and you're going to benefit me for the next turn. It's worth it. And it's one of the only econ options in the entire game. It's like the main one. The other ones are like return on investment or making something cheaper, if not free.
Yeah.
This is the only way to increase the amount of gold that you have.
5-man swan team, let's go.
um, I'm not gonna lie to you. I
Can
kind
you
of like that
imagine?
idea. I kind of want to do that now.
Imagine 5 level free swans. You're just pumping out the shop to get food and
You
you're
legitimately
beefing them
just that's what it could actually work because you're just buying food and rolling for more food.
It'd
Oh,
be pretty great.
I love it. Dodo after nerf is really bad. It might even be C tier, but
Dodo is
it does do things, and Dodos do.
sorry.
Um, it does do things. It just requires a lot of investment, but it's pretty bad. Elephant, on the other hand, Elephant will carry, especially through the early game. Oh, you put that boy in the back. You don't even need to worry about its hurt trigger or its attack trigger, I should say, for any hurt like camels and blowfish. You just
Dude,
peacocks.
I saw someone put an elephant in front of a crab and I was thinking, why buff the crab just to have it taken down?
I haven't seen that since New Crab. I did see that with Old Crab, and it was funny because it's like a 9 health elephant, so I want a 9 health crab, and it's like, what's an 8 health now? 7 health now.
Just watching it decline.
But I like elephant a lot for early game. It's just a really good unit, especially if you got honey on it. Ooh, that's gonna carry you for a little while. A unit that you and
Slap honey
I
on everything.
pretty much a unit that you and I both agree is undervalued and underrated and underplayed is the Flamingo.
It's so good. I buy it almost always.
Flamingo's poggin. You can buy it to pill it. You can buy it to keep it. You can put it with whales.
Flamingo ox, just saying.
Yeah, like there's so many.
Pretty
It's such a good thing, and it's a better ant. It's predictable. You know exactly what's gonna happen and where you're gonna make it happen. It's just so good.
so good.
And that 3 attack is very, very, very relevant. So many units have 3 or less HP by round 3 and 4.
Well, yeah, it can take out anything. It dies itself, but at least your next units they get up to like a free 4 attack
Yeah.
health. It's good.
You toss it up front, give it some meat, it's gonna kill anything it sees.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot to do the thing where I do that. That's okay. The hedgehog. I have a love hate with hedgehog. There's a certain there's a certain egg that has made the hedgehog way too popular for a while.
Oh, it's so good though because you get enemy teams that have like two free hedgehogs and they just destroy themselves.
Yeah. The one thing
I
I will
love watching
say,
them self-destruct.
they tend to have blowfish. And whether I win or lose, I'm never upset to see a blowfish fight. Where like nobody's attacked except for the first unit, and the blowfish in the back are just sending shots back and forth at each other. It's the greatest thing. It's so dumb.
It's good.
But hedgehog can be a mini badger. You stick it in the back, put some honey on it. As you said, just slap honey on everything. but it does the same concept of hit something on its way out and leave something there. So you kind of get that extra guaranteed towards trading. Peacock, on the other hand,
I feel
man,
like Peacock is good, but not enough. I feel like if you have nothing else, you can take a Peacock and still do pretty good. But it's not my main choice.
yeah, it'll do something. It just requires investment. That's the problem with it, and it falls off super quick. Those two things are a problem. Um, but it does stuff. You can use it to get to the next round. Rat, the more I see it, the less I like it. But it's hard to deny those stats. Those stats are juicy.
I love Rat when it's on the other team because the amount of times I have won because I have a Rat from them on my side.
Yeah. Yeah.
It happens more often than when I have it, it helps me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've lost because of Rat more often than I've won because of Rat.
Yeah.
Um Scampy, Mr. Shrimp here. I'm so torn because I feel like it should be B tier, but at the same time, it
Situational.
it's situational because it requires two spaces, realistically.
Well, the other day I literally had nothing in the shops, nothing I could make work, but I had two shrimps and a dog, so I had space to buy and sell stuff. And that's all I could do because I was getting otters and beavers and things.
Yeah.
And this late in the game, you don't want otters and beavers, so you buy them, you sell them, and just pump up the dog as best you can, so at least you have one tank.
Yeah. They can put in work, but they just require, again, investment. They're situational. They don't belong anywhere above C because of that. Crab is like so weird. It's just kind of doo doo because like
It
it
used to
doesn't
be
update
better, I
anymore. It
feel.
used to be so good. Crab used to be A tier. Did you ever do Crab Cascade?
I did it once, but I'd never put an A tier. B at the most.
Oh no. If you got the stupidest Crab Cascade, you'd understand. You ever have four crabs that just keep going and one of them is like a 40-50?
Yeah, I never got that high.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb and I love it. Um there's been crabs that I've just like pumped to oblivion and then the next crab gets quite a lot and the next crab gets quite a lot and the next crab gets quite a lot. Oh, love it. But that's dead. That's no more because they made it so that it
It's
gets
on
that
the
health
buy.
value once. Yeah. Feels bad, man. I guess that means that if you give it chocolate and level it up, it doesn't update
No,
itself.
you have to level up with another crab to get the new update.
It's just so bad.
I'm not arguing.
It's just so bad.
Spider's just as bad because of you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much the only thing you really want from a spider is a sheep.
Yeah,
And like everything else, you're like, you should have been a sheep.
I get snails all the time, and I'm
So
sad
many
because
snails.
you need a snail after that. Not during.
It makes you need a snail, but not like this. I like that. Oh man. Next up, we have rounds 5 and 6. It's an absolute understatement to say that Badger is A tier. It will carry you for so long if you put it in the back, slap some honey on it like you do everything else, and just even a level 2. Level 1 is sketch. The later you get, level 2 will trade for so long. And then you win.
I like that honey badger is a real animal, and it works so much.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
It's also the name of a gun.
I didn't know that bit.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Camel is like the most frustrating animal because I understand how much upside it has. The ceiling for what it can do for you is so high. I get so unlucky and somebody just has the most gigantic animal I've ever seen in my life one shot it, or they have me on something and they one shot it and it never gets its hurt trigger off. That being said, Camel Kangaroo against a summon build, oh, you're pogging. You're in love. You are on cloud 9. It's so good. I guess you agree.
What? Giraffe good? Are we there yet?
Nope. Just said
Sorry, I was
camel.
distracted. I was trying to read what your friends were playing.
Oh man. Alright, we'll fix that. Hold on.
No, I'm really nosy.
I know you are. That's why we're gonna fix this. Hold on. Alright.
Man, I love camel.
Next up is Ox. Ox is very, very potent. Can just decimate teams, but it falls off quick.
I put Ox pretty low. But playing with it more, I see its value every time. There's never a time where I have nothing. I think I shouldn't bother taking an Ox. I always think there's always room for an Ox early on.
Yeah. They're a very potent creature. And
potent Ox, yummy.
They put a lot of value to pills. They make pills an actual thing.
They make me want to murder all my friends in front of it. What kind of sick was an Ox? Just watching all its friends die and be like, I'm pretty strong now, thanks.
They made me watch. But yeah, Ox put a sheep with honey. I'll just go to town. Go to town.
Stop putting honey on everything.
No. I don't even like honey in real life. I just like putting it on things in video games. Oh man. And then you got Kangaroo. He got nerfed.
Solid.
He was way too strong, so they nerfed him. His base stats are low. I believe he still gets the same pump.
He gets sniped
right?
now. That's
yeah. Well, not only that, but like his requirement to be relevant is basically 2 attacks. If something attacks once, he's not likely to trade, or definitely not win or even trade. Whereas before, if something attacked once, he usually would, at least keep up to where he's going to be in trade. Yeah. So that stat nerf at base kind of hurt him, but he's still acceptable and he can still just take over a single round. And then we have Giraffe.
I've definitely been destroyed by a kangaroo before, many times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like I see it and I'm like, oh man, if we get there and he's not hogging, he's dead. And then all of a sudden he's like a 24-25 and I'm like, I'm sad.
Oh, Giraffe.
Giraffe is pogging. Giraffe. See, you would have never known if you continued all your life with the sounds off and never heard anybody play the game.
On now. I can't play without
them. Giraffe is pretty solid stats as a 2/4. It's not the worst. It gives something 2x4. It gives something.
Carry on, sorry.
Oh man. It gives something as solid +1/+1 permanently. That permanent stat matters. Makes a huge difference.
Agreed.
And if you put it on something like an Ox, you put an Ox in front of something like if you put a Giraffe and then an Ox and something that actually is going to die a couple times with Ox in front of it or behind it, it's just going to go ham. It's going to take over. It's going to be great. You don't mind seeing these until late game. There's always a place to kind of sneak it in there. Get that little bit of value. Sheep, I think some people, including you, are undervaluing sheep.
Yes, I'd put it C tier, I think.
Yeah. Sheep is basically fundamentally a 6/6 because it hits
Do
you for 2, it spawns something for 2, and it spawns another one for 2. And they all have 2 health.
Do you want to hear my ox joke?
All right, I'm mentally prepared for this.
What do you get when you kill an ox?
What do you get?
An oxymoron.
I'm the moron.
Yeah, you are.
Oh no. But yeah, I think people need to put some respect on the sheep. It trades a lot. A lot. And then
It's just good, especially if you clinged on to that old horse that you had lying about.
oh yeah, oh yeah. If you haven't gotten rid of the horse yet, it's gonna go crazy. Cause the sheep's already very potent. You add to it, oh, it's taking teams down.
If you have a horse and you pass on a sheep, just quit playing.
Oh no. Blowfish, similar to camel, has so much potential upside. It can wipe an entire team by itself, basically, if it goes crazy enough.
Mm-hmm.
But mine just get one shot. Everybody just knows I'm rocking these things, and so they meet their animals to the teeth and just kill it. Or, I run into a 1917 mosquito for some reason. I'm like, how did you even get this way? This early?
I really, really like blowfish. I think I put mine like at the front of this tier. It's so good.
Yeah, none of these animals, by the way, on any of my lists are in order from left to right because I was just not going to be able to sort through them. It'd be too much.
Oh, mine are.
Yeah, mine are not. I wouldn't be able to pick. It'd be too crazy. Um, Blowfish is so good, but I can't ever get it to work. But I know it's supposed to. Similar to Camel, I know it's supposed to work. I could just never get it to do
I put blowfish above ox on my list, and I have regrets.
it. Now here's where my opinions on my list have changed. Dog needs to be in like D or E tier.
What? I mean, I put mine in D, so not surprised, but still.
Yeah, I'm considering even E tier because I feel like anytime I still try to force the dog to work, I end
It's
up
too
losing.
late.
Yeah.
Like, you're not buying units anymore, you're upgrading.
Yeah. And also on top of that, it doesn't
Either or.
level very well. Yeah, the either or health or attack kills this build. It's an animal that doesn't work anymore. They, for lack of a better word, they neutered it.
They got it done. They thought they were fixing it, but it's more broke than ever before.
Yeah, I've given up. I've officially given up because even I've had godlike rolls on shops to like churn animals. I've got the double shrink. I've got a couple spots to just keep getting things like otters and beavers and getting everything going, pigs, whatnot. All of a sudden, I'm like, why am I not lethal? And then I lose and I die. Like, it's bad. I give up. Also, similar to what Egg said in a video, I think today, I have the exact same experience so far. If you ever see a dog or a puppy and you take it, if you're me, you're not going to see another one until like round 12. It just doesn't happen.
You're not wrong.
Because if you get a couple dogs, you level that bad boy up on like turn 6, maybe. It can maybe still work, maybe. But if you're doing that, then you should go get a scratch off and maybe, run some numbers through the lottery, Who knows? Because I can't get that kind of luck. Rabbit I put in C, and that's because it's super situational in the sense that if you pick it up on your last 3 gold, like if you're rolling and you're like, okay, this next roll I have to get something to fill this empty slot. You see the rabbit, you're like, okay, this will work great because I have this, it'll be amazing. You buy it because you want to start investing in it next turn. But it does nothing for you that turn.
I put rabbit higher than you. I think if I see a rabbit in 5 and 6, I take it because it's gonna put in the work.
Yeah.
It just will.
Yeah. Rabbit is so much potential if you're even remotely like if your team is semi set, you have a couple units that are just like this is working, this is what I want to do. I don't have to worry about replacing this right now, and you can just start buying food, especially like salads, sushis, all sorts of things like that. It's great. It's amazing.
And they buffed it too, so it can affect itself. So I give it a piece of meat and put it at the front, and then I got a battle bunny. It just takes out scorpions, so you have your tanky unit behind it. Takes out everything.
But it's super situational. It can make a big difference on your team, but on its own, without adding to it with the food, it does nothing. So that's why I put it in C. Similarly, I put the snail in C because if you have a shop where you lose a round and you come into 2 snails, oh baby, you ain't losing for a while. You're gonna pump that team to the heavens. It's gonna be great. The problem is that you have to lose. If you draw or if you win, you get no value. It is horrible. And also, if you're dumb like me, you don't learn to pay attention to the little sparklies coming off of them. You'll buy it thinking that you lost, but you drew and you wasted your 3 gold. And you basically just threw 2 gold out the window for no reason.
I can't see the sparkles if I froze it. I have to remember if I lost or not, and I don't remember.
If you look below, it'll still do them if it's frozen.
They're very faint.
Very faint.
I
But you can
unfreeze
always,
it, check.
yeah, you can always unfreeze it.
And I just think,
Yeah.
if they're not sparkling and I've unfrozen it, it's gone.
Yeah.
Reroll.
In a similar vein, in a way, to the rabbit, I put turtle in C, and that's because they nerfed it. Pre-nerf, I think I would have probably put it in B, if not A.
It just doesn't do anything now. Its stats are not like it has the same stats as an ant.
Yeah.
Round 5, you're not buying it.
It's
a 1-2 now.
Yeah, an answer 2-1. Technically better. Because it's more likely to trade with something than 1-2. It's got the same stats as
got free stats points.
Yeah. It's got the same stats as a base kangaroo.
I want a kangaroo for a turtle.
The melon armor on death doesn't really matter that much early. That being said, I am way more likely to pick up a turtle late game. The later it gets, the more likely it is I'm to invest in a turtle to soak up a scorpion hit and then give my big ass animal melon armor so that it can smack through something stupid. That's what I'm about. But the fact that it went from a 3-4 to a 1-2 makes it so hard to take now. Because
unless you have a rabbit.
But on its own, it's just kind of hard to use. Next up, we have rounds 7 and 8. Your boy, the Hippo, he top tier on my list. I love Hippo. Most of my wins have come via Hippo. I have videos of Hippo doing things. I like Hippo a lot. You get your Hippo going, it's just a train that can take care of a whole team by itself.
Hippos are just good. The only time you wouldn't take a hippo is if you have a bigger tank, essentially.
So only on these shops, right? Like if you're like, man, I don't know. Even on these shops, I'm like, I could just have a secondary thing. I got the big boy at the back, and then I got the Hippo up front. The Hippo fails, I got the fallback. But the only time I don't take hippo is after round 7 and 8.
Well, you can take rhino over hippo that late.
I have a hard time with it. I understand. Listen, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll talk about it when we get to rhino. But hippo is a decimator of teams if it doesn't get immediately killed.
It's a big
Deer.
if.
Deer is highly underrated by some people. You give the deer meat or a chili pepper, like you suggested before, or a 1-up. It works so great with a lot of equipment. It's going to hit something, it's going to trade. It'll deal with scorpions, all sorts of shenanigans. And then you got the bus. The bus loves summon builds. It'll chew through melon armors. It's just so good. They don't even know what hit them.
I used to find it so funny because you get people who would kill a deer just to get a bus rather
Yeah.
than wait for a chili pepper.
Also, like, why bother? It's a free bus. Why would you spend the 1 gold and lose the 1-1?
I saw it for the longest time. There'd just be people rolling up with buses on their teams. And I saw a level 2 bus. Like, how on earth do you have the patience to get a level 2 bus?
That's so funny.
I wish we had their Hall of Fame back then because I could have gone back and watched it and screen capped the stuff because that was crazy.
Oh man. Dolphin starts us off on B tier here, and it's just such a solid unit. It's almost A tier, it's so good.
If I have a
It's
mosquito still, I sell it for the dolphin without even a full.
yeah. It's just a better mosquito. It's just gonna hit something and almost certainly kill it. If it doesn't kill it, it's gonna die in the next time it hits something. And it scales into late game pretty decently. A lot of scorpions get sniped by dolphins. It's great. And it always hits the lowest thing, which is so relevant. So relevant. It hits so many things.
Well, the amount of times it takes down scorpions will help.
Yeah.
Like I know this is early and scorpions aren't in this round, but the amount of times like no one buffs up their scorpion because they rely on it to take down a unit, they don't care.
Yep.
And this snipes scorpions guaranteed.
Yep.
So good.
So good. Rooster. Rooster got nerfed. And it hit kind of hard. That being said, it's still an alright unit. The chick that it spits out is only gonna get half of its attack. But that's still pretty relevant because you're still gonna be pumping up the rooster, so at the
Some
end of the day it's
builds are
not the
just
worst.
really good. So even though it's not a good unit, just having it spawn something else gives you an extra unit to play with rather than the 5.
Yeah. And then you pair it with something like tiger or parrot, turkey, fly. It's gonna do work. And then we got skunk. Skunk is like so strong.
Skunk is A tier. What are you doing?
It's like B plus. The
A.
problem with skunk is that if it's not level 2 or level 3, it's gonna nerf some. It's gonna cut a third of the HP off something. Is it a third?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
33%.
it's gonna cut a third of the health off something, and it still can't kill that thing on its own most of the time.
No, but if something has like 50 health, it means you can kill it with your tank that you have at this point.
Assuming that your tank didn't die to the 50 health something and live, like the 50 health thing didn't live. It's strong, don't get me wrong. The reason it's not A tier is because its stats are weak, which is a good balance. I think it's in a really good balance point at that rate. Um the bison is so finicky.
Good. good.
It's so finicky because it's so good if you have any level 3 unit. You have one level 3 unit, it's A tier immediately. You slam that bad boy in. It might even be S tier if you have a level 3 unit.
Look, if
That'd be
you
A tier.
pass on a bison, you're gonna see enough bisons to make a level 3 bison. Because every time you pass on it, you'll see another one.
But if you have one, you'll never see another bison.
That might be true, but if you miss it once.
I should have took the bison. I could have had it leveled to 3 by now.
I remember in round 12, I was regretting not taking the bison already, and then I had free in a shop. I was thinking, wow, bit
So
late.
I had the dream build, but I had to lose a lot of health to get there. 3 bison. 3 separate bison, not combined.
Oh, damn.
They were 20s. But by the time I got this, everything else was in 50s. If I'd have gotten this early on, level up, get a bison, and then the next shop buy 2 bisons, I could have just slammed through everybody.
It's just so good, especially if you can get it to level 2. But if you get it early enough, you don't even need to level it because
Yeah,
it becomes redundant later. Yeah, it's just nice.
yeah. But without a level 3 unit, it's not really very good at all. So I drop it down to C tier. On its own, it's decent stats, but it doesn't really do anything. With a
Just fluff
level
it up
3,
with
it's
a
A
bunny.
tier. You and this damn bunny.
You and your damn honey.
Listen, you on that honey
Roasted
life too.
rabbit.
Oh my god. I do put honey on my rabbit.
Couldn't hear
Penguin, also C tier because it's so situational. If you have a team of 4 level 2s, you're gonna slam that boy in there all day.
My luck
If
lately is I get halfway to level 2 and then I'll never see the unit again.
Yep.
Then I
Yep.
cry at penguins.
I'll have a single level 2 and it's the one unit that I'd be willing to sell to get the penguin. I'm like, but then why do I even have it?
CUPs.
Yeah. Uh Parrot is one of these potentially strongest units in the game. Its stats are okay for where it's at. It's a 6-3 usually.
Yeah.
But on its own, it does nothing. If you fuck up the placement, it does nothing. That being said, if you put it behind some stupid shit, you're going to get some stupid shit and it's going to be a good time. Dear Parrot, let's go. We
Skunk
on the
parrot.
fucking. Oh, yeah. Skunk Parrot is really good as well. It's essentially a side grade to the tiger because it
If
functions
you have room
different.
for it, it's good.
Yeah, if you have something that works, right? Like if you're rocking bisons, you're not going to get a parrot.
You can fit a tiger on any team. You can't always fit a parrot.
I disagree. I disagree. I don't think you can always fit a tiger on every team either.
I feel like you can.
A lot of teams.
You're not trying hard enough.
But most of the time, you are 100% correct. Technically speaking, the parrot might fit on more teams than a tiger does. Because the tiger requires something to trigger in battle, whereas parrot is just the same animal. So if it has an effect, I guess not. I guess they trigger the same amount of times, no matter what. I don't know. My brain is not big enough to process all of the things a tiger can do and all the things a parrot can do and compare them. But they're both pretty goddamn good. But again, on their own, they don't do anything. So that's why it's
I
in C
feel
tier.
like you can tiger a whale, but you can't parrot a whale.
That would be the one right there. Yep. Well, actually, no. No. Because
Because it
in
spits
theory,
out
it
twice.
would. Oh, that's what it. Yeah, you are correct. You are correct. The swallow trigger won't matter, but the drop trigger will. You are correct.
Can you have a whale train? Like a whale that eats a whale that eats a whale?
Yes, but
It wouldn't work how I'm thinking it will.
You have to make sure that the one with the highest power is furthest to the right, and they would have to be different power. Because the one with the highest power will trigger first, and then it'll go to the left.
Just 5 whales and see what happens.
Oh, then you're just being dumb. There's got to be some payoff.
No, just whales all the way down.
Whales on whales on whales on whales.
In Wales, because I've
whales and whales and whales. In the D tier, I stuck the worm because by round 7 and 8, having a 2-2 is so hard to get going. I think it's too late.
I put worm in the same place actually.
Yeah. It's almost a fallacy. You can make it work. It is possible. But you gotta commit hard. You gotta have a decent team leading into it. You gotta rock the rabbit and everything. Like, you gotta already have shit for this build and run into it, and you probably gotta get a level up pretty early.
You gotta want it.
Yeah. I put Squirrel in E tier because I think Squirrel is garbage. I actually preferred Old Squirrel to New Squirrel.
I prefer New Squirrel to Old Squirrel.
Don't like it. I don't like it.
I love it. I love it. I put it in C tier.
Yeah, my luck is not good enough to make that squirrel work properly.
Oh, that's so sad.
You gotta play with the hand that you're dealt. Moving on to rounds 9 and 10. This was one of the hardest ones to do.
You just ram it all in there, huh?
It's just also good. So before the nerf, Cow was S tier. Post nerf, Cow was A tier. It was just so efficient to get all those milk glasses and just pump up a unit so much. Now they slightly don't pump up as much, and you could do some shenanigans and level the cow, because I don't think it did anything if you leveled it before, did it?
Leveled up, the milk is worth twice as much.
On the old one?
I didn't play the cow in the old one very much. It
Here?
probably was the same.
It might be. Either way.
Must have been.
You can do some shenanigans with the milk and make it pretty strong. But it's you're happy to see the cow. Same thing with monkey. You're happy to see monkey. Most of the time.
Unless your team is cracked, you don't take it. But if you got wiggle room, you wiggle for it.
The times when I don't take monkey are when I have something like scorpion or something that needs to be in the front and die. Because
I love puffing up a scorp.
yes, but if the things that I need to, like, if I need more potency to my team, big scorpion doesn't get me there. Not yet. That's like something I do when I have a team behind the scorpion, you know?
Yeah, but I like to give it 21 so it can break melon.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love Big Scorp. Big Scorp meta is a thing I enjoy. But I gotta have something there first. So sometimes I will have to pass on Monkey. And I'm not happy about it. Because I like Monkey. Scorpion, it's the great equalizer. You've got something you've been working on this whole game, trying to pump up and make big. And I've got a simple 1/1 unit that's gonna kill it in one hit.
Scorpions just make me paranoid because I'm building my team and think, oh shoot, woof, they got a score.
Legitimately, the second it hits round 7, you're like, okay, scorpions are a thing. We have to be ready.
I'm never ready though.
Never ready. You're like, they don't have that. They won't. They don't
What
got
are the
it.
chances they're running scorpions?
There's no way they have a motherfucker. It's a scorpion.
Then you roll up on free. It's like, well, this was fun.
Yeah. Then you buy the dolphin and you're like, haha, and you never see a scorpion again. And then we have B tier. Every unit in this tier 5 of pet is just so good.
Turkey.
Like crocodile, There's so many things like monkeys and shit that are sitting at the back. The best thing you can do is get a cracked crocodile that's gonna snipe a badger and kill something in front of it.
Oh yeah, damn! I never even thought about it like that.
Oh, it's so good. It happens a lot to mine, and I'm so sad.
Oh no.
But if you ever get it to happen, you're like, oh yeah, that's that good. Rhino, if you can get a cracked rhino, if you already have like something like a monkey or giraffe or something, or if you've been big on cans and you
And
got a
it's just
rhino that can
good
be
because
cracked,
everyone runs a summoner team.
a lot of people do, yeah.
It's just a good counter.
I like seeing the rhino chain off. I never get it to happen. Everybody kills my rhino in one hit because my luck sucks.
But when it does, it's good.
Yeah. Turkey. Turkey is one of the most powerful rated units outside of summon builds. In summon builds, it's the GOAT. It is the S tier of summon builds. Outside of it, honestly, people don't respect it enough. Let's say you have a turkey and you buy a rhino. That rhino just got super buffed for free.
It's a can, basically.
It's a can on every unit. And I love that. Shark, you put that behind, especially a summon build, you put that behind a bunch of things, and it's gonna carry you usually to some sort of victory. Slap some honey on that bad boy, ooh-wee. But you're never upset to see a shark unless your team is already good.
Yeah.
Seal. Seal can pump your entire team and get big itself. It can be a huge benefit. There's no bad animals in this tier.
My list is very different.
Round 9 and 10, there's no bad animals. So I put everything in A and B tier. Moving on, we have rounds 11 and on.
Your gorilla makes me laugh every time.
Because he's just like, and down there.
It's like, oh, everything. Oh, okay, hello, down there. And in a fight, a gorilla would take all these down.
No.
I've seen Tarzan.
Yeah. Do you know how big a mammoth is?
They're pretty extinct from what I hear.
Yeah, but if they were to fight, oh man.
I want to see it.
I mean, Neanderthals were basically cavemen.
Oh, so we lose.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, when you get to this tier, you're almost certainly looking for something like leopard or tiger. Leopard
and tiger even better.
You're not wrong. They're just so good, so potent, such a difference maker.
I've never heard anyone use the word potent more in my life than you doing a tier list.
Dragon didn't make it past B tier because he requires you to have an open slot and you have to have shops that get level 1s or tier 1s. If it was any animal, oh my god, it would be fucking S tier.
I really love a dragon. It's so hard to make it work unless I'm already doing pretty bad and I pivot hard.
Yeah. It can make such a huge difference. It can sway an entire, like, a team that's floundering and on its last legs can suddenly beef up in one turn and go crazy.
Your worm can finally get strong.
Somewhat strong, not strong enough. The problem comes in that one, if you roll a shop and it has no tier 1s, you're fucking losing it. You roll a shop twice with no tier 1s, and you're just foaming at the mouth.
Money at that point.
Yeah, you're pissing it away. So it's situational in its effect, and if you have a good team and you can only afford to lose one thing,
don't sacrifice your team.
Yeah, you're like, well, I guess I just don't get to have a cool ass dragon. It requires an extra slot, but when it works, it works. And then you got Fly. Fly is underrated from a non-summon build because if you get that thing to be level 2 and onward, the Fly puts out such big units to replace the things like utility things like a snake or something or a tiger that's not very big. The Fly makes it huge. It
Well,
replaces
I
it with
think
something that's very big.
it's a 10-10, which is better than most base units.
Yeah. And then I think level 2 is the 15-15.
Oh no, it's 5-5, 10-10, 15-15.
Is it? Okay. Either way, the point being, like they're pretty solid units, replacing things that are usually not as good as stats. So it's almost like giving them a whatchamacallit, be a badger trigger. Kind of nutty.
Mm.
But you get something like hippo or rhino or anything that's just big enough, they're just not going to care. Snake on its own does fuck all. Snake behind something huge or like a hippo that's just going to go crazy. Oh my god.
Front runner snake, let's go.
So good. So good. But you put it out front, it's bad. It's so bad. That's why it's in B tier. The black cat, it's got its uses. If you need to catch something up because you bought it kind of late, but it fits right into your build, you just need to scale up and catch up to the rest of your shit. The cat can just use food to get it there. The downside is that you have to have food, you have to
You
have the
have to
open
have the
slot.
space and the
Yeah,
money.
yeah. So
It doesn't pop till the next turn, I'd say.
yeah, and even then, it's like not the greatest. And I don't think it works with chocolate, does it?
No, only the stat upgrade.
So it really should work with chocolate. It's not good enough to not work with chocolate.
Maybe message them, be like, "Oi, my cat wants chalky." They'll know what you mean.
Yeah,
They'll understand. I
yeah.
want double chili pepper, please.
Oh my god, no. Um,
Double honey, thank you very much.
yo, double meat, let's go.
Mm,
But
double
then we
salmon.
have Mammoth. Mammoth is one of the most underrated units at this tier. You never see people
Mammoth.
run Mammoth. It's not terrible.
I B tiered my mammoth.
Ooh, I don't know if I can give it B
Our
because
list is so different.
yeah, it's very very good, but it's super situational because if you already have a team, you don't want to put this on there because it's not the greatest unit itself by the time you get here. If it was a couple shops earlier, it would be S tier. But by the time you get here, that effect is very minimal because it's only like what +2/+2.
It's just nice.
It's not a
It's
bad thing
adorable.
to get. Um, but it has to die, so you know it gives you more use for pills and things like that, which is very nice, very nice.
Pill mammoth shark, very good.
And if you're still somehow holding on to an ox, may God have mercy on your soul, but it'll work. And then one of my favorite things I've seen is one up mammoth
Yes.
into a shark, whale. It's just so dumb. I love it.
No, it's so good.
That's why I love it. It's dumb and it's the greatest thing ever. Um, it doesn't do enough on its own. You have to have a team that's pretty solid or something to make it utility. So that's why it's only in C tier for me. And then Gorilla can go fuck itself because I refuse to even buy it till I need to get it for the achievement. I just don't.
It's the coconut effect. I'm surprised they don't sell it in the shop.
I wouldn't buy it.
No, but like they have melons.
So that's the thing, right? It took me a long time to realize that melons were not coconuts in effect wise. Also, I'm pretty sure melons are bugged
Oh,
because it says blocks 20 damage, but if you have a unit that does 21 damage, it's like it just negates the melon entirely and it still does the full 21.
oh no! It should only do one. It should do the carryover damage.
I know it should, but I don't feel like that's how it happens. Because if you have 250 50 units, it should take more than 2 hits for something with melon to kill it, right?
Yeah, and it hasn't been for you.
I feel like it's been 2 hits.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Listen, my brain
If
is not
if
the
you're
greatest.
if you're hitting for 50 and it's got melon armor, it would take 2 hits.
2 50/50s fighting each other. One's got melon. Are they both? Maybe one has melon?
If one has melon, the one that doesn't dies,
Yeah.
but then the next one only has 30 HP left.
Maybe it was not 50/50. I don't know. My brain hurts. The point being,
There, it's okay, dear.
I feel like they don't work right, but I could be wrong. But
You're wrong, never.
I thought that they negated all damage on that first hit. Then
Oh.
I actually read it and I was sad.
It's amazing how the rules change when you actually read what stuff does.
You know, they keep saying that in Magic, but that doesn't mean I read anything.
Okay.
But I refuse to buy the gorilla. I don't believe in gorilla. I think it's a stupid trigger and it doesn't work.
I'm dreading trying to get the achievement.
Same. But that's my tier list.
Mhm.
Obviously, we've had dissenting opinions this whole time, and Bluey has her own tier list of the same shops in a similar format as mine.
Just
So,
better, more accurate.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry. We'll have to
But
put like a little poll thing for people to vote which one they like or which one they agree with the most.
yeah, you can just put it in the comments below of each video. Easy peasy.
Mhm.
So if you guys want to see that, you can go over to Bluey's channel, which I will link down in the description, and we're going to make a video with her going over her tier list. So make sure you stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
But that's going to be it for me. And Bluey, we will catch you in the next video that we do. And I appreciate you guys for watching. If you have any comments you want to leave down below, any sort of suggestions, opinions you have, feel free to do so.
Super auto pet challenges.
And ideas for challenges, we love them. And if you liked or disliked the video, please hit the corresponding button. It absolutely helps. And if you want to see more videos like this or any others, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And if you're already subscribed and you want to get notified whenever we post a video, hit the little bell. It'll pop up in your inbox. Ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for me. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will catch you guys later.